The greatest source of inefficiency for most organisations lies in working relationships, conflict, mistrust, misunderstanding. 75% of people leave jobs because of relationship issues, and most of these are with their immediate supervisor. A typical manager will spend up to 25 to 30% of his or her day to unnecessary conflict. The average employee spends up to 12 days a year off focus, gossiping, arguing, criticising, moaning, and we could go on and on. In an organisation of 100 people, the financial cost of tolerating this inefficiency will be in the region of £275,000. Now for 1,000 people, the figure is going to be £2.75 million. Imagine adding that to your bottom line without asking your people to work longer or harder. And if you're a not-for-profit business, imagine the extra capability these efficiency savings will bring. Ever turn your computer on and find that it's slow to open, works intermittently, and then it locks on you? What does that do to your productivity? If your employees, if they're slow to get going, work intermittently, or have relationship breakdown, what is that doing to your organization's inefficiency? The cost of having disengaged staff is huge. Let's imagine that you have over here your unhappy, disengaged, unproductive staff. And on this side, you got your happy, engaged, productive staff. What an even better place to work allows you to do is to work out where on this continuum your people are. And more significantly, it gives you solutions, ways forward, self-managed solutions, which help your people to come all over here into this highly more productive area. An even better place to work is not based on any academic model or theory, but is focused on the fundamental needs of organizations. We started by simply asking managers, what do you need? And what we found was that they were looking for a people equivalent of an antivirus. Something that runs in the background, is always active, detects and deals with problems, offers protection, and allows the business to continue uninterrupted. So we set about achieving this by equipping people with the skills to take ownership of their issues and manage them at a local level, so they don't need to escalate matters by running to HR. We wanted people asking, what am I going to do? Not what is management going to do for me? So we sought to create something that was systemized, something that would become part of the DNA of the organization, something that will be driven by individuals, not HR or management, something that did not eat into time or distract from the day job, something that could be measured and invariably makes a difference to the organization's bottom line. And so we developed an even better place to work. Not over a weekend, but over a 10-year period, trialing, modifying it until it met all of these criteria. A unique feature of an even better place to work is its ability to measure what happens between people, the interpersonal bit, which is where the greatest source of inefficiency lies. The system measures relationships across 7 key areas, which were suggested to us by senior managers in organizations. Do your people feel valued? All the research will tell us that valued people are productive people. High self-esteem is the fuel that will drive performance. Are your people open with each other, discussing the undiscussable, dealing with those issues that can get in the way of collaborative working relationships? Do they engage in feedback? We all know how important feedback is to high levels of performance. And of course, all of these are interrelated. People who feel valued are more likely to be open. People who are valued and open are more likely to engage in feedback, which of course leads to more motivated people, impacting on the bottom line and greater levels of productivity. Managing their differences so the differences do not get in the way. People taking ownership. How often do I come that in organisations? How do I engage my staff? How do I get them taking ownership for their issues? And minimal dysfunctional conflict. So organisations are not losing time to unnecessary conflict, argument and misunderstanding. Now these indicators are monitored and progress tracked regularly. In the same way as you go to your doctor not to be told that you're unwell, but how to get better. An Even Better Place to Work provides you with the measure and the solutions how to get better. It's 5% diagnostic, 95% solution. You are likely to see people with good feelings or bad feelings. Good feelings, they tell us needs are being met. Bad feelings tell us needs are not being met. Now, a bad feeling is a bit like the red light on the dashboard of your car. It tells you something is wrong with the engine. Ignore it and you can expect a crisis down the road. People problems, if they're ignored, do they go away? No, they get bigger. If no one connects with the bad feeling, what happens? It becomes a moan. The moan becomes a criticism. The criticism becomes the row, which develops into the dispute, the strike, the resignation, all the stuff you don't want in your organization. All the stuff that is hurting your business and affecting your profitability. The tragedy is none of all of this needs to be happening. It is taking a more dramatic form because no one connects with the need. Now, an Even Better Place to Work operates back here. So you don't get the bad feeling and certainly none of all of this stuff. How does it do it? Very simply, by what I call proactive feedback. You have a choice. You can be proactive and invite feedback, thus preventing people problems, or you can wait for the feedback of the slam door, the blazing row, the resignation, all of which you will have to react to. Which of course is a bit like waiting for your car to run out of fuel when you could easily have checked your fuel gauge and filled it up at the weekend. You have a choice. You can wait for the crisis or put systems in place that will prevent the crisis. We are still talking about the same people problems we had 30 years ago. Whatever we've been doing, it just hasn't worked. There is a need for a new approach. One that is transformational, not informational. One that transforms rather than informs. To solve people problems, many organizations go down the training route. Now, those of us involved in training know the transfer of knowledge to behavior is minimal. It's a bit like an open fire. Most of the heat goes up the chimney, very little into the room. If I want to go to London, I don't need to know the theory of the internal combustion engine. I need a car, because I can drive a car without knowing the theory of the internal combustion engine. We may not need to know Maslow's theory of needs, but we do need to understand each other's needs and be able to explore ways our needs can be met as fully as possible. An Even Better Place to Work, it's the car. You can rent it. It will take you wherever you want to go, and when you arrive, just hand the keys back. Better Place to Work is the how-to, not the theory. It gives you the tools to lead, not the theory of leadership. It doesn't just talk about openness, trust, collaboration, but it creates those realities. What are the quantifiable differences you will notice by using an Even Better Place to Work? Think about it. If people's needs are met at work, will they want to be there? Of course. Hence, you can expect less absenteeism, reduced staff turnover, less moaning and criticism, and of course, a subsequent improvement in morale, productivity and profitability. An Even Better Place to Work is supported by online metrics and activities. It provides quality data, allowing people to make targeted interventions to improve the quality of work life for everyone. It marries the best in leadership practice with today's technology, creating a solution that just wasn't possible 10 years ago. A solution that appeals to the worker of today. It's friendly, easy to use, designed for busy people, driven by individuals, and doesn't distract from the day job. Don't expect people to care about your business until they feel you care about them.